Yo, what's up, y'all? Saw that my camera was a little jacked, so I wanted to lower the camera and sure the settings were good. So hopefully y'all hear me okay. Welcome everybody. My name is Salo Ortiz, and I am what everybody fondly likes to say is the founder and CEO of Life Change Institute. And we called this, I called this, allow me to reintroduce myself. So it's not just myself I'm introducing, it's the Life Change team. And so typically what we're ready for, what we're used to is um, during Life Change Lounge, I get to interview people, just everyday normal people. And what we wanted to do was bring a different snippet going into this new year. We're in 2023 right now, and we wanted to bring just what are we doing, where have we come from, and what are we looking forward to, so that people out there can understand and know. You can look at this at a later date and just kind of understand who we are and what we're doing. And so I wanted to take some time to do that. A lot of my team is busy. A lot of my team is traveling internationally. So I wish I could say it was for business, but I think it's for pleasure. But they're busy traveling and doing work and living their lives. I mean, we are regular people. And so Life Change Institute is just normal, everyday people. So I chose to do this on my own and say, look, guys, we know that we are a big team, but we are also a busy team. So I want the comments and the questions and the feedback. Please feel free to tap in the chat, type in the chat. I'll be able to kind of answer them as we're going and see what happens. We've never done Life Change Lounge like this, so this is unique to me, and this is unique to you guys as well. Now I got to tell everybody because Rosa is here snoring next to me, and I thought she was going to be on camera with me, but she decided to lay down and start snoring. So that's my dog. For those who don't understand, Rosa's been riding with me for 6.5 years, and I put her through hell for 6.5 years. So she earned the right to sleep. She'll probably pop up about halfway through this, and you know, tell you a little bit about herself probably. So let me go on and talk lounge stuff. If you are a return visitor for us, lounge is a very casual, laid back conversation. So that's what I want to have with you. Sitting here in a room full of lights and a snoring dog and just a casual conversation with you, the camera. But I want you to know me and I want you to know my team. So there's only two scripted questions in the lounge. Your life change moment and what does life change mean? And so I'm going to answer those as well. So you'll get to kind of see a different inside perspective, inside scoop, if you will. But there's no other scripts. I didn't write it. I didn't write anything out. I didn't really think about what I was going to talk about, but I know that I wanted to make it very factual. I wanted to make it very real in lounge fashion, and I wanted to make it very relatable. Um, so let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm a licensed clinical social worker here in Virginia Beach. I've been doing private practice work for 20 years or so, and it's been a trip. I've seen mainly substance abuse folks, and I do deal with recovery, but I also deal with trauma, deal with adult issues, marital issues, those sort of things. And I've worked in a number of different places. So when we asked the question here in the lounge, what was your life change moment? I got to tell you guys this story. My life change moment and how life change came to be was in 2020, May of 2020. Um, I had just left my fourth job in 2 years. And it was quite an adventure, needless to say. Those important to me, which is kind of like what is going on with you in your world, that you can't seem to hold a job, want to keep a job. What the heck is going on with you in jobs? And this idea and this concept of life change had been brewing for a while. But after I left that last place in 2020, I was like, man, that's it. I ain't doing this no more. I can't work for nobody else. Not that I think I could do it better, but I knew I had some things that I wanted to share with the world. So I sat down at my dining room table, May 20th, and started researching business licenses and business names. I had already kind of been playing around with the name. And lo and behold, May 20th, I bought the rights to Life Change Institute and built the Life Change Institute LLC. And that was the birth of Life Change Institute at my dining room table in May. And it was wild because I knew I kind of had done something kind of cool. nobody else in my family my immediate family owns a business. And so being a business owner, technically, um, without, without really knowing what the heck that meant and what went into that, was wild. So I started a business and went on from there. Called it Life Change Institute. Why? Life Change Institute is trying to grab a name that would transcend a lot of different sort of areas, and I wanted to I wanted to grab something that would be meaningful when you said it, and so we were bringing about life change. I wanted to impact people's lives, and I wanted to be able to make it in such a way that it's still constantly learning. Um, so the life change part of it was really the impact. The institute was more like a school, more like an ongoing school, an ongoing sort of lesson place where we could grow and we could build. And so institute just kind of sounded cool and it fit. So we came up with a logo, and I just kind of wanted to highlight what a phoenix does. And for me, the phoenix was really meaningful because the phoenix rising from the ashes is this sort of rebirth. And a lot of people go through this need for a rebirth. I was definitely sitting there at the dining room table going through that. I, started a business and said, this is going to be my prime gig. And, I've got two kids and a family at home and trying to figure out how to feed everybody and pay bills. Um, so that's what I did. I, wanted to find the Phoenix sort of theme in life change. So, that's where the logo was born, and that's where our tagline was kind of built. And we're known for really wanting to transform lives to what they were meant to be. Why is that? When we look at Life Change Institute, this whole thought of transformation, I mean, we often go through change, and we often go through a lot of changes throughout our lives. But to transform, even like the old cartoon, is to become something completely different. And it's something built on the old us that's even better. And so transforming our lives to what they were meant to be is this sort of awareness and this sort of approach, this sort of growth into the calling, into the identity that we're meant to be. And that's what I wanted to bring into people's lives. I've been doing therapy for a while. I've worked in jails and schools and hospitals, and saw this constant need for people to want to develop and grow into something. So we did that. Transforming lives to what it was meant to be. That's who we are. We're Life Change Institute, transforming lives. And with that comes then how we do that. How do you transform lives? So I challenged folks to look at 4 pillars, what I call the 4 pillars of practice. We wanted to transform lives really surrounded around mental health and recovery, and transform lives using 4 areas. Motivational speaking, which is really just the general sort of, we want to go to places and speak. We want to go to places and be influential, and we want to go to places and encourage people. Um, and then we have corporate consultation. And my belief in this is not just to break into the consulting world that is corporate business and all that, but to know that there is a huge need to address the mental health and substance use issues that are going on in business, and in corporations, and how we do the operations of business around us. So if people were willing to sit down at the table with me and have me advise and encourage, based on my years of experience of doing therapy, um, on the impact of mental health and how to take care of mental health, how to take care of our recovery needs in the corporate sector, that was huge. And then comes the arrogance that is me, and that is Life Change Institute, because I want to do clinical training and I want to do it well. And anybody who's sat through any of my trainings know, man, I'm passionate about training. I think that there is a way to bring energy and excitement and fire to clinical training. Um, and I wanted to do it best. And I knew that I'd develop a team that would do it with me. And then I also wanted to do clinical supervision. And I've had a passion for supervising young would-be licensed folks for a long time. And so those are the things that we do. We do solid clinical work in a corporate sector, in a mental health, even a nonprofit sector, and we do it to the best of our ability. And I influence other people on how to do it. So our 4 pillars are motivational speaking, corporate consultation, clinical training, and clinical supervision. And so I can break that down for us a little bit. Um, that's the history. That's who we are. I pray that we have questions that come in, and that if you have questions about who Life Change is or where it came from, where did the crazy idea come from, I can tell you more about it and definitely share it. But this is my time to be able to be honest and open and real about Salo Ortiz and about Life Change Institute. So hopefully you'll send some questions. So let me talk about the 4 pillars, because you heard about where we were birthed and then the 4 pillars itself. Motivational speaking as one of the pillars of practice for Life Change is just an encouragement. We find that we encourage people to live out their best and to do their best. And we do this in such a way that we've been through some things ourselves. And so our motivational speaking, you can see it a lot on our Instagram. We've got Wednesday Wisdom that we drop every Wednesday. And I've tasked the team to be able to take it on this year and add more of their own flavor to it. But last year we started Wednesday Wisdom, and it's just some insights, some life experience things that we can add. Whether you have a diagnosed mental illness, whether you're working in recovery or not, it's just life stuff that we know we need to be able to pick up and keep pushing and keep pressing. And that's our motivation. That's our encouragement. So we go to schools, we talk in schools, we talk in a lot of businesses, we talk online about how to stay encouraged and motivated to do our best and to give our best. The second part of it is corporate consultation. And for me, it was being able to go into businesses and not tell you how to do business. I've got a background in counseling, psychology and social work. I don't have a background in business. I'm not going to try to act like I'm a businessman. I do some work, I do some business stuff, but it's more so my understanding and appreciation for people, for human behavior, and for how to infuse healthy supports and healthy environments into the business. And so we go into businesses and we train them on the importance of recovery, the importance of how to support people that are in recovery in their environments, and how to support people that are walking through their own challenges mentally. And so we want to encourage all types of business. We've worked with the retail industry. We've worked with nonprofits. We work with mental health practices now. And so we've worked with a couple of different businesses, and I encourage you to reach out to us if you want to work with us as well. Not because I know everything, although I know I sound like I do, and I probably think I do. But I know a little something, and my team knows a little something. We've got a researcher on our team who does a lot of the fact check and a lot of the background work. And we bring a lot of insight and wisdom to the work that we bring to companies. And then we got the clinical training. Clinical training is fun. We have a cool opportunity that just started this month. Later this month, we're going to be doing the Clinician Development Series. And for us, it was trying to build young clinicians in this game. And we've worked in a number of environments, from hospitals to nursing homes to recreational places, after school programs. How do we bring clinicians healthy, vibrant training that they can use and that's affordable? So we did $25 a head for an hour and a half of sound clinical training. And we wanted to train young clinicians before they even got licensed on how to build effective approaches to this work, because we believe that if you have a good foundation for this, you're going to go far with this. And so we have our Clinician Development Series that's just starting this month. Check it out on Eventbrite. Check it out on our socials. It's going to be really cool. And we're going to have a lot of different topics. First one is how to build rapport, healthy rapport with your clientele. And then we're talking about group development. What is peer recovery? Understanding the diagnosis when it comes to different diagnoses that we see in the DSM, from schizophrenia to bipolar to depression. Working with medications, bringing a holistic approach, those sort of things. So there's a lot of different topics we're going to bring to the table. And I've got a lot of solid people that are going to bring it to you. And I'm going to tell you about them after we're done with this. So clinical training is a really important thing for us. We want to train not just here in Virginia Beach, not just in the state of Virginia. We were able to bring a training. We've got a copywritten training called BEDS Protocol, something that we developed here at Life Change Institute. Firm believer that it's going to change the game. And so we brought this BEDS protocol to Nicaragua. Shout out to our friends at Connect Nicaragua. Y'all know who you are. Better say what up. And we brought this training international. I wanted to take this protocol that we developed to say, it's sound for us here, but can this work in another culture, in another environment? And it did. It was cool. We talked to a bunch of pastors and lay leaders in the community. And we want to bring a training like that to your business. So knowing how to approach a client to understand the assessment, the diagnosis, and the treatment is really, really key to really get a full picture of who it is you're dealing with. And so clinical training is vital to those who have been working 20-something years and those who have been working 2 years. You don't know it all at 20-something years. I'm telling you now because I'm there. And then when you first get into the game in year 1 and 2, you think you're supposed to know it all and you're a deer in headlights and you don't know where to ask or who to ask. So that's what we're here for. So BEDS protocol is a huge one that we like to bring to practices, bring to agencies. If you're interested in that, again, reach out to us. You know how to reach us. But we have other trainings as well, from establishing firm boundaries to understanding the use of hip hop in therapy to looking at clinical burnout, understanding the LGBTQIA plus community. Man, there's a lot of them. THC and the legalization of THC in our state and many of the states out there. So there's some really cool trainings that we could bring your way. Shout out to Kenny, man. I appreciate you, man, on here watching. And you guys got to check out some of the agencies we work with. I was talking about this with corporate consultation. And Operation Yellow Tape, man, they get love from me and from Life Change because they're doing real big things to bring about an awareness to mental health and substance use treatment in the first responder community. Man, is it critical. But it's trainings like that we want to bring. We want to bring a real world approach to this clinical game. It's not all stuffy. And if you ever come to me in therapy, you know I use a lot of hip hop. I'm loud, obnoxious. I got dogs running around. We eat during my sessions. I know that's a no-no. Many therapists are going to write in and say, how dare you? But we do a lot of these things. And we just try to make it real world. And so we want to bring real training to you. Real training to businesses that would normally not have anything to do with mental health or substance use treatment. Real training to a community that desperately needs it. And it's not boring, man. There's no sleeping allowed. And there's guaranteed to be no sleeping in my trainings. That's for sure. We think that we can change the game. And then the last part of it for our 4 pillars is clinical supervision. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I've got 2 other licensed clinical social workers with me. I do have an LPC. I got to give a shout out to the LPC community because they don't get a lot of love from me, but she's changing that. And so we have LPCs on staff and we have registered peer recovery specialists on staff too. And so we recognize the need to train people and supervise people on how to do this work effectively. We have a really solid approach to clinical training. I know for my LCSWs that are in there, I've got a few of my guys that are taking the exams here in the next few weeks. And we've got an over 95% success rate with the exam. Truth be told, man, it took me 3 times to take that puppy. Finally got it. They can't take it from me. But we learn from our mistakes and we teach other people. And so my LPC on staff does the same thing. She has an approach that is dynamic when it comes to working with understanding the exam, but it's understanding clinical work and clinical practice. And then peer recovery and peer support is huge and it's up and coming and it needs so much strength and guidance. And we've got somebody on there that has really taken it on and has a passion for the recovery work and a passion for peers in recovery. I think that's a critical thing in this market because a lot of times, man, people don't think there needs to be structure to it, but there does need to be. And I think that we're bringing something special to that. We've got a question that came in that says, if I need supervision for licensure, how do I start with this process? Great question. LCSWs, once you graduate with your master's, you can jump into supervision. You have to get your master's degree for LCSW and then get into supervision. Find a supervisor that works for you. We interview all our supervisees, potential supervisees, and you should interview us. Because if we don't like each other, we ain't going to work. And so I always tell everybody that. But you can go to our website or you can go to our socials. You can look and click to see, can I find a supervisor there? For our LPCs that are on track, LPCs are funny because you have to finish your master's for sure to be a resident. So the internship is not the same as supervision. Please understand that. Yeah, you got to have a supervisor, but that's not supervision for your license. So you've got to be a resident. You have to finish the education. Now you can take the exam early, LPCs, because y'all are weird. But that's the only shade I'm gonna throw at you. You can take the exam early. Um, but once you take the exam, you still got to get your supervision hours. And so understand you got to take the supervision. The supervision, man, I'm not a fan of taking this exam early, even if LCSWs end up doing it, because I think that's where we learn also how to take this exam, is during supervision. You learn so much of the clinical content, and then you learn how to take the exam. So you can find that as well on our website. We have one LPC that's available there, 3 LCSWs. We've got a bunch of spaces open right now. Or you can email us, lifechangeinstitute@gmail.com is a great way to reach us because that's the quickest and most direct. And then we have our peer recovery specialist that's doing, and she's building supervision for peer recovery specialists, for peer recovery folks that are trying to get certified. Why is that necessary? No, it's not a requirement right now in that field. But she's gone through the ranks of us as clinicians challenging her. She's got her life experience that she brings to the table, and now she brings some structure to it that is needed. So you get accurate supervision from somebody who's walked it and somebody who's taken the exams, who's gotten registered, and now can guide you. As for fees for supervision, yeah, supervision is expensive. There's a lot of different fees. Right now, as it stands right now today, Life Change Institute charges $75 an hour. I don't think it's a lot, but it's come up a long way. It's a lot when we're coming out of college and we can't afford many meals, but it's cheaper than the market going rate of like 100, 125. So, check us out if you're interested in supervision. Like I said, drop us an email or check us out on socials, or even, on our website to see what's going on. And maybe we can connect and help you out. And that's for all types of supervision. Key thing with supervision, we have a test prep course. Our LCSWs especially have a 6-week test prep course. So whether you did supervision with us or not, check us out if you want to get ready for the test. Like I said, we got a 90, I think it's like a 96, 97% passing rate on this exam. So the 6-week test prep course, I all but guarantee you'll pass if you listen to what I'm saying and you do what I say. Some of it is a little different, but all of it is accurate. And my folks that have taken it in the past will tell you that it's worth it to do. We have an LPC track that is working on the test prep as well. And so that exam is different, dare I say harder than ours, but it's different. And so that exam, we have a test prep course for as well. And we're developing one for the peer recovery program as well. So we want you passing this. We want professionals in the field, and we want them learning how to take this exam and pass, but we want real clinicians on the field. When it comes to paying for supervision, I don't know. Virginia has a boost program. It's a boost 200. They may be tapped out with how many supervisees they could take, but it's worth exploring. It's through the state. They had a grant working with some folks. And so the boost 200 grant will pay for your supervision because they recognize the need for clinicians in the field. So research that. We don't have a link to it on anything, unfortunately, but it is through the state. Just type in boost 200 in Google or Safari and check that out. And that will potentially pay for supervision. You have to have been just started or less than 60% finished. Don't get me tight on the numbers, but it's somewhere around there. So yeah, there's a lot going on with supervision, man. And again, we just want to help people transform. We want to transform lives to what they were meant to be. So, that's a whole lot to say when you sit by yourself, staring at a camera. We're talking Life Change Institute, Life Change Lounge, allowing us to reintroduce ourselves to the world of who we are and what we do. I told you where we came from. I told you about our 4 pillars. Let me tell you about some of the things we're going into, who the team is and what they're doing. And then I'll let you go if y'all don't have anything else. 2023 is bringing an exciting opportunity for us. We've been advocating in this year, 2023, to push for a recovery high school in our local community here in Virginia Beach. I'm okay to say that out loud because I think that it's something that's needed in all the communities. And when I look at the work that needs to be done regarding the stigma, regarding the young people and the need for real healthy recovery programs, man, a recovery high school would be critical. And so that's my shameless commercial. We've been advocating to school boards and try to work with the local school system to get this up and running. But that's a huge opportunity for us, man. And my whole team is engaged and ready. We've got peer recovery specialists ready, licensed folks. We've got a curriculum that we're writing up ourselves. We've got a peer recovery based model just for the meetings themselves. And so that's really cool too. With that, Life Change Recovery is partnering with Meridian Psychotherapy Services here in Virginia Beach to offer a team peer support program, a team peer support group that meets weekly. Right now in our immediate area, in the Tidewater area, there is no team program for a 12-step AA or NA program. And we give credit to AA and NA, and we encourage people to go. But our teenagers needed some love and needed something to go to that was theirs, that was not run by a bunch of therapists that think they know it all, that was free, and that was run by other peers that have done the work in recovery. And so Life Change Recovery is doing that with Meridian Psychotherapy Services. So we're really excited about that. Check that out on our socials. You'll see that listed everywhere. You can check out Meridian Psychotherapy Services to find out more about that as well, or email us at Life Change Institute, them at Meridian Psychotherapy Services at Gmail, and get information about that. So we're building programs in recovery. The other thing we've got going is a bunch of our Instagram social media sort of stints that we're doing. Two things that we've got going that's pretty cool. Check out our Wednesday Wisdoms. I'm, self-admitted and self-focused, I guess you could say, because I love the Wednesday Wisdoms. I did those. It was a challenge I gave myself last year. But just the topics that we take for Wednesday Wisdom. I mean, a couple ways I tell people to use the Wednesday Wisdoms. Classrooms, alternative classrooms especially, or in counseling. But take the topic. It's a 3.5 minute at most topic. Look at the topic, write a little blurb on it, compare notes on it. Use it as a discussion point. From a group standpoint, right? Whenever you're running groups, whatever the setting, 3-minute video on a topic from a Wednesday Wisdom that you can get off of our Instagram, our TikTok, and our YouTube. So there's really no wrong way to find our Wednesday Wisdoms. Take the topic, break it down, and then make that be the group discussion for the night. And since you got 52 of them, man, there's 52 ways to engage a group and not have to pay a dime. This is the stuff that we do for free because we wanted the community to know that we were in support of trying to make people's lives better. The other thing that we're doing that's really, really cool is Life Change Live. We've got an event coming up this Thursday, Life Change Live. Life Change Live is cool. It's two of my team members that answer live, unscripted, unfiltered mental health and substance use treatment questions. Things about trauma, things about our gender and sexuality and how it impacts the work, things about suicide, first responders, teen-related issues, women's issues, men's issues, anything that you can kind of think of, just throwing it out there. They did a really cool stint over the holidays that just passed on how to get through the holidays with grief and loss, how to get through the holidays in recovery. Life Change Live is a 30-minute episode. It's the third Thursday of every month, 6 to 6:30, 30-minute episode on Instagram only. So we try to reproduce that somewhere here and there. But if you want to catch it, man, you got to get on Instagram. Find somebody who's got to steal your grandmama's Instagram. I don't think she'll mind too much. And get on there and take her Instagram account and get on there and watch Life Change Live. Shoot in a question. It's great for people who just have a quick question but don't want to be engaged in trying to find therapy or whatever. Does it substitute for therapy? No. But it does give you some answers, some general answers to some of the questions we may have. So this is therapists, people in the community, teenagers. What questions do you have about mental health and substance use that you wanted to get answers to, and you wanted a kind of general insight without having to go through a lot of what's necessary for finding therapy? Life Change Live, man. I hope you check it out because I think it's been a blessing. I think we've been running it 9 months. I don't think it's been a year yet, maybe 9 months or so. So I think that's something we're going to keep going for a long time. Told you about the clinician development series. I'm really amped about that to train people. And then we've got a bunch of conferences that we're going to, we're going to be speaking at. And so we are excited to come to your conference, excited to come to your business and put on a training or even a conference there on whatever topics it is that's going on. Last year, we were blessed to be able to work with NextCom in the Navy. We were able to work with Chesapeake Schools. Shout out to Chesapeake Schools and all the school systems that were involved in that grant. But they've been really, really a great support for Life Change Institute. And so we really love them. Shout out to Spark out there doing community work. And the Spark program out there is doing some IOP work, some substance use and recovery work. And they've really been in support of us as well. So we're excited about that. Told y'all about Operation Yellow Tape. Now, let me tell you about this one. This is not Life Change, but I get to give the commercial. But next month, Meridian Psychotherapy does this podcast called Real People, Real Talk. And we're going to be talking about Operation Yellow Tape. We're going to be talking about first responders treatment and mental health and substance use treatment and how to find help, why they need to continue to engage in support because they do a critical work out in the field and out in the community, man, but they need some support and love. So it's really cool to get together with agencies and with companies that are trying to bring about health and keep people alive, man. So we're excited about that. We're excited to be going to local high schools and speaking on this crisis that is the fentanyl epidemic and the opioid epidemic and some of the substance use out in the community. And it's dangerous. It's scary. And we want to be right there helping people get clean, helping people see that there's a lot of life worth living. So we've been doing a lot of work with some local agencies on that and with the school system. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Got a couple other ideas, a couple other tricks up our sleeves, but I can't give you everything because if you hear it all now, you ain't gonna want to come check it out later. So you're gonna have to tune in. You're gonna have to tune in to our socials, our YouTube channel, and see what's going on. You're gonna have to really email us, lifechangeinstitute@gmail.com, if you want to get in touch with us to see what it is that we're doing, or how we can talk, how we can partner, how we could come alongside you, your school, your business, your community, and bring about change. Last thing I want to talk about, y'all, is this team that I got. And I want to give a special shout out to everybody that's on this Life Change Institute squad. I want to be able to just encourage each one of them and tell y'all that it's important to find people that you love and that you respect that work and have a passion for, not just the work, but for each other, to see lives changing and to allow their lives to change along the way. So from our homegirl that does all our merchandise that we're going to start selling, all our Life Change Institute gear, she works and she's been on the previous Life Change Lounge episode. I want to give Carrie a shout out because Carrie's been doing big things. Check out Creative Celiac. She's doing some amazing work with a lot of her merchandise, but also with her story and not allowing life to keep her from producing, keep her from engaging. And man, we're blessed to have her. Got to give a shout out to Sophie Henderson, who's doing big things clinically. That's the LPC of the squad. But I got to give her credit because she's repping LPCs in the midst of all these LCSWs. And she's doing a lot of big work there clinically in outpatient world, working with a lot of grief folks, working with a lot of teenagers, working with a lot of folks in recovery. But then from the Life Change side, willing to keep things moving and going, keeping everybody on task and willing to speak into a community that needs help from a different voice, women's community, grief community, especially. And so she's doing some big things. Shout out to Alex Wall out there in Colonial Heights. That is not Petersburg. That is not Richmond. Got to give a shout to Colonial Heights because Alex was one of my supervisees who came on board and caught the vision for Life Change early while it was being developed in supervision, and has done great work and great strides in training and keeping us up to date on trauma, keeping us up to date on gender and gender stereotypes and sexuality norms and all that thing and how that impacts treatment and just the general clinical work that we do. She's been influential in bringing treatment and bringing structure to her past work with sex offenders, but also her current work in trauma and bringing insight to that. So she's excited to bring a bunch of trainings. She's got 3 more lined up. She just did one this past week and crushed it. But she's got at least 3 lined up. I don't know if she knows she's got 3 lined up. Sorry, Alex. Might have to call you later. My girl Jennifer, Basso is doing some great things with Life Change Recovery. And so I want to give a shout out to her because the recovery game is insane. And for someone who didn't think they could do clinical work, she's doing real clinical esque work with the peer recovery program and walking out her own recovery, walking it out boldly. And so building a recovery program there, I got to give a shout out to that because she's done a great work. Um, it's there that you're going to find the supervision. It's there that you're going to find the guidance for a program that still needs so much structure. And it's there that you're going to find a model for what real recovery looks like and what a real passion for watching people's lives change goes into. I also got to give a shout out to Jasmine. She's the young one of the bunch. Jasmine stays behind the scenes, but Jasmine is all things media, all things social media, all things marketing. And Jasmine's been riding with me almost since day one. I think she's been around just getting all the posts out there, getting all the information out there, and doing some amazing things, keeping us current, keeping us fresh. Jasmine laughed at me one time because I was new to the whole Instagram game. And I got all excited because there was a little red ring around the picture. And so I was like, hey, man, this is really cool, that red ring. She's like, your story? And I was like, yeah, man, I'm kind of old. So if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be connected to this young game. So Jasmine, you're doing amazing things. Shouts to Andrew, who has been taking photography for us and doing photography for us. He's moving on to continue to grow and work, but he's doing big things. And so I just got to give credit where some of the pictures you'll see come out are due. To our homegirl, Meg. She just goes by one name. She's like Cher, Madonna, Prince, Meg. Meg is the brains behind the operation because Meg brings all the data, all the research, all the analysis, and a sound clinical mind. She keeps us straight, she keeps us moving, and she can provide some real guidance with regards to supervision, with regards to clinical work and training. So be on the lookout for her for sure. Got to give shouts to Joel because Joel helped us build this website that we had, and I just recognize the help and the support that was given there in our early stages. I didn't know what I was doing web-based wise, and he was kind enough to come alongside us and do some work on that and help us start building that. And now he's doing bigger things, and so this is really cool to watch his career blossom and grow as well. So, man, I don't think I got to give a shout to the dogs. I guess my life changed dogs. Rose is still snoring, y'all. Just want y'all to know it's been 38 minutes and she's been snoring hard for 38 minutes. So Rose is here snoring. Rocky's at home, probably snoring also. So, got to give credit there, I guess, and see what happens. And then we've had a lot of people on the team just kind of step in and help us out and guide us along the way. And I just give credit to all of those guys. They help build Life Change to where we are. You've seen how we started. You've seen kind of where we are now, and you hear where we're going to go. We plan on being busy in 2023. And so we're excited. We're really super excited. Initiative that I almost forgot, man. I got to tell you, for my students, if you got a high school student, if it's a minority household, we've got our Life Change Institute Minority Scholarship Fund. This is the third year that we're going to be handing out $1,000 to 3 lucky students. So last year we handed out 3. The year before, our first year, we handed out 3. We've handed out $6,000 in awards to 6 students, minority-based scholarship, because I wanted to show kids that it was possible to continue to pursue their goals and their dreams, maybe when they didn't have the funds or they didn't even think that they had it in them. I graduated my undergrad with a 2.5. Maybe I shouldn't say that on these cameras, but I'm not ashamed to say I graduated with a 2.5. Didn't think I would be doing something like this. And then I started dreaming, and then I started really studying, and then I started to learn and how to hold on to the content. So it's possible. And so I just wanted to give that opportunity back, and my team is supportive of that. So the Life Change Minority Scholarship Program. Look at it. It's in the local high schools. All the 7 cities down here have the contact information. If you want information on the Life Change Institute Minority Scholarship Program, I don't care if you go to school in Iowa, hit us up on email, lifechangeinstitute@gmail. You'll see the scholarship. We'll send it to you. You fill it out, meet the criteria for it. We have a tight standard for it because it's a lot of money and we don't make a whole lot, but we want to support our community. So the minority scholarship is going out now. Please, guys, fill it up. I know we've got a lot of seniors that are just getting admitted into their schools and looking at their funding. This is an opportunity for you to get in and get some funding, some additional funding, and it'll help support the meal plans. It'll help support the books. It'll help support the general tuition, room and board. We want to make sure that this scholarship gets into the hands of the people who deserve it. So the Life Change Institute Minority Scholarship, be on the lookout for that. Man, I think that people have told me I love to talk. And I've been sitting on this camera by myself talking for 40 minutes. So I think that I'm all out of gas, y'all. I think I'm out of breath. I appreciate people tuning in. I know that people will tune in another time. Look for this video on our YouTube channel, Life Change Institute. Look for us on our TikTok, Life Change Institute. Look for us on our Instagram. Bet you didn't know it was Life Change Institute, as well as Facebook, Life Change Institute. We got a page that's connected to my Salo Ortiz Facebook page. Ask questions, man. Check out the stuff that we've got going. Check out the free things we got going. Life Change Institute is about transforming lives to what it was meant to be. And we pray that we could be an integral part of you transforming your life to what it was meant to be. So to me, the last question of the lounge is, what does life change mean? To me, life change means opportunity. Life change means opportunity. I was given the opportunity to change a life. I was given an opportunity to change my life. And I've been giving other people opportunities, and my team gives people opportunities to change their lives. And so I pray that we can be a part of somebody's opportunity to bring about real, true, accurate, healthy life change to their lives. That's all I got, y'all. Rosa, you got nothing to say? I gave her a chance, y'all. That's all I got. I hope that I can check you out on the next Life Change Lounge. Be on the lookout for Life Change Live coming this Thursday. And holler at us if you got any questions. Peace.